Alright, we have Italian units for Rome Total War 1. These are non-Roman Italians. In the early days before Rome became the superpower of the Mediterranean, they were just an Italian city-state, and their main rivals were the Samnites and the Etruscans. The Samnites and Etruscans eventually formed an alliance along with the Gauls of northern Italy to try and stop the Romans from taking over all of Italy, but the Romans defeated them and eventually Romanized them, absorbed them into their Roman Empire. But I wanted to create some units to represent the non-Roman Italians, so that you can have some battles that were set in the early days of Rome. One of the historical battles in my mod that I've already made a video of is the Historical Battle of Sentinum. I'm going to make another version of that battle that's going to be probably 3 versus 3 at high money. So these units will be featured in that historical battle. But to show them very quickly, this unit was Samnite mercenaries, and now they are Etruscan hoplites. The Etruscans learned how to fight in a hoplite formation from the Greeks. The unit is set on loose formation just so you can see the unit better. But they're very they're equipped with Greek weaponry. The only difference is the helmet. This is a very Italian looking helmet, and they've got the small bronze breastplate. This unit here, or not unit, but this is the general. I tried to make him look Etruscan, so the slave and rebel general will be in Italian. This unit was Libyan mercenaries, and I've reskinned them as Etruscan peltists. So they are light infantry javelin throwers that then will fight with a short sword in melee combat, but they're the equivalent of the Roman velites. They also have this Etruscan style helmet. Now, I've shown this in a video already, but I've gotten rid of the Gladiators. All of the Gladiators are now reskinned as Samnite mercenaries, and I have different versions for the different factions. This is the slave version of what was the Velite Gladiator, and you can see the shield design here has the swastikas on it. If you Google Samnite spearmen, you'll get some of them portrayed as having swastikas on their shields or even on their uniforms. But they were not Nazis. The swastika was a symbol of fertility, I believe. And this is the Samnite Gladiator, reskinned as Samnite Swordsman. So it's got a round shield, and you see the Samnite style breastplate. This is the other Samnite spearman. It was the Murmillo Gladiator. Different style helmet, and the breastplate is square. And this is the Julii version of the Samnite Swordsman. just a different uniform and a different shield design, so you can tell your Samnite mercenaries apart from the rebel version if you ever fight them. This unit was the Roman archers. They're now reskinned as Etruscan archers. So it's got the Etruscan style helmet, but otherwise they're just archers. So they kind of act as, I guess you can say, non-Roman Italian auxilia. If, say, you were to use this unit with a Primarian Roman army, you can keep some historical accuracy, because in the early days of Rome, they would have non-Roman Italians fighting in the Roman armies, but it wasn't until I think the time of Marius that they began to accept the non-Roman Italians as actual Roman soldiers, and they really Romanized all of Italy after that. I think there was a war called the Social War also, in which the non-Roman Italians rebelled against Rome, not because they wanted independence, but because they wanted to be Roman. And that eventually led to them becoming Roman, even though they lost. And this unit, these are Etruscan swordsmen. They used to be, this was the Arcani. I didn't really know what to do with the Arcani because, I mean, it's a really small unit. There's fewer men in it. But I just decided to make the unit Etruscan swordsmen. So they have that Etruscan style helmet and the small bronze breastplate. This unit here is the Roman general. That's for all the Roman factions. They have the same general. And I just want to show the other three versions of the Samnite mercenaries. This is the broody version of the Samnite spearmen. And this is the SPQR version of the Samnite swordsman. And this is the Scipii version of Samnite spearmen. So for multiplayer, the Samnite spearmen and swordsmen will use the horde formation, but in the historical battle, and I want to create a bunch of big money historical battles, I'll be able to change their formation to where they'll be fighting in a line as they would have in real life, and not in this horde formation. So I very much like big money battles with huge numbers of troops, so I look forward to finishing that part of the mod. I've been thinking maybe I'll create some historical battles and then release those with the skins that are needed for those historical battles as I continue to work on the mod overall, so that at least people can have something that they can start using, because modding is very tedious. It takes a long time, and since I don't have a mod team, I'm kind of working on this by myself. I sometimes get bored with it, and sometimes I just don't have time for it, because I am married and I have a son who just turned 3 years old now. So I don't really have a tremendous amount of time to spend on Rome Total War, but I'm trying to finish it as quickly as I can. So yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video to show some of the changes I'm making. Hopefully people like this instead of the Gladiators, who are really one of the fantasy units in Rome 1. Gladiators did not fight in large formations in the Roman army, so or even in the slave army of Spartacus. I think there was only about 80 gladiators in the entire army, which had, you know, tens of thousands of people in it. So that's it. That's everything I wanted to show.